You sit down at the same table. You eat the same meal as everyone else. And 20 minutes later, you look 6 months pregnant. Meanwhile, the person next to you, who ate the exact same thing, looks completely fine. You've probably blamed the food. You've probably cut out gluten, dairy, carbs, whatever the internet told you this week. But what if I told you, it's not the food, it's the machine? Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm about to show you exactly where your bloating is coming from and where in your body it's happening, so you can finally stop guessing and start fixing it. If this is your first time here, this channel exists because of you. So before we go further, kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications because tomorrow morning you're going to want this again. Let's begin. The setup. Here's the question that changes everything. Why do some people eat healthy food and bloat more than when they eat junk food? That sounds backwards, right? Salad should be good for you. Pizza should be bad. But so many people feel worse after the salad. That's because bloating was never really about what's on your plate. It's about what's happening inside you. Your ability to actually break that food down. Think of your digestive system like a factory line. Doesn't matter how good the raw materials are if the machines on the line are broken. The food goes in one end. But somewhere along that line, the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the intestines, something isn't doing its job. And that's where the bloat is born. So today, I'm going to walk you through that line, station by station. And by the end, you're going to know exactly where your problem is starting and what to do about it. Station number 1, the stomach, your first line of defense. Let's start at the top, your stomach. Most people think their stomach should be calm and alkaline, soothed, gentle, balanced. Here's the truth. Your stomach is supposed to be a war zone. On the pH scale, 7 is neutral. The lower you go, the more acidic. Your stomach acid should sit between 1 and 3. That's in the same range as battery acid. That's not a malfunction. That's the design. That acid has 3 jobs. Break down protein, kill off bad microbes hitching a ride in your food, help you absorb key minerals and B12. Here's the twist almost nobody talks about. The most common digestive problem isn't too much acid. It's too little. And it gets worse, because there's a valve at the top of your stomach that's triggered to close by acid. No acid, no signal, no closing. That valve stays open. And what does that feel like? Heartburn. Acid reflux. That burning sensation that sends millions of people running to the pharmacy every single year. Here's the cruel irony. When people feel that burn, what do they reach for? An antacid, which lowers the acid even further. It's like turning down the heat on an engine that was never actually overheating. And now nothing runs right at all. If this is you, the fix often isn't less acid. It's rebuilding what you lost, through things like apple cider vinegar or betaine hydrochloride taken before meals to give your stomach back its edge. Station number 2, the gallbladder, your hidden fat-burning vault. Once food leaves the stomach, it hits a substance most people never think about. Bile. Bile is made by your liver, but it's stored and concentrated in a small organ tucked under your right ribs, the gallbladder. Think of bile like a natural detergent. Just like dish soap breaks grease into tiny droplets so it can rinse away, bile breaks fat into tiny droplets so your body can actually absorb it. Without enough bile, fat doesn't get processed. It just sits there, heavy, undigested, fermenting. And your pancreas has to scramble to pick up the slack. If you've ever felt a dull ache under your right rib cage, or pain that mysteriously shows up in your right shoulder or your upper back, that's often not a mystery pain. That's your bile flow, backed up like traffic on a 1-lane road. Station number 3. The pancreas, the overworked backup plan. Your pancreas has 2 jobs. It manages your blood sugar through insulin, and it produces enzymes to break down protein, fat, and carbs. When the stomach and the gallbladder aren't doing their part, the pancreas gets stuck doing double duty. It's like being the one coworker who shows up on time every day and slowly gets handed everyone else's workload too. Station number 4, the long road. Your small intestine. From here, everything moves into the small intestine, about 25 feet of winding tubing where 90% of your actual digestion and absorption happens. It's long on purpose. Digestion isn't supposed to be fast. It's supposed to be thorough. But here's where things can go seriously wrong. The hidden culprit. SIBO. Normally, your trillions of gut microbes live further down in your large intestine where they ferment fiber the way yeast ferments bread dough. Rising, bubbling, working exactly where they're supposed to. But sometimes those microbes migrate up into the small intestine, where they don't belong. It's called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. And when that happens, fermentation is happening in the wrong room of the house. You bloat after almost everything. Fiber makes it worse. Probiotics, the things you were told would help, can make it worse too. I know how this feels because I lived it. For roughly 15 years, I didn't know why I felt like this after eating. I just thought something was wrong with me. It wasn't until I understood where the process was breaking down that things started to change. Normally, strong stomach acid and healthy bile flow keep those microbes in check before they ever reach the small intestine. So when acid is low and bile is sluggish, SIBO isn't bad luck. It's often the downstream consequence of everything we just talked about. And there's a ripple effect. Antibiotics can wipe out the healthy bacteria that normally keep yeast, candida, and fungus in balance, leading to problems far beyond your gut. Skin flare-ups, unusual breath, constant fatigue. Some people go days, even weeks, without a normal bowel movement, not because they're lazy or eating wrong, but because the entire system upstream stopped working properly. This is the moment to really sit with. It was never really about willpower. It was about the machinery. The fish tank analogy. Here's the way I want you to think about your body. It's like a fish tank. You can buy the fish the best food in the world. But if the water is polluted, the fish stay sick. You can treat every symptom one at a time. But if the environment underneath it all stays toxic, nothing actually heals. Your body runs on signals. Insulin, cortisol, inflammation, sleep, gut function. They're all connected. But there's almost always one signal that's more broken than the rest. And until you find that one, everything else stays stuck. The map of your pain. Now let's get practical. Where you feel discomfort can actually point you toward what's going on. Under your right rib cage often points to the gallbladder or bile duct. More often than an actual gallstone, this is thickened bile, sometimes called bile sludge, clogging the flow. Center or left side of your upper stomach, often a sign of low stomach acid or a congested stomach struggling to keep up. Just below the stomach, spreading outward, classic sign of SIBO, that overgrowth we just talked about. Lower right abdomen, near where the small and large intestine connect. This is the ileocecal valve. Gentle massage in this area can sometimes bring real relief. But remember, it's usually a downstream symptom of the problems higher up. Important note, pain patterns are clues, not diagnoses. Sharp or severe pain, especially lower right abdominal pain, should always be checked by a doctor to rule out things like appendicitis. And any new or severe pain deserves a real medical evaluation, not a guess from a YouTube video. Ultrasounds, for example, are often a gentler first step than jumping straight to more invasive imaging. That's a conversation to have with your physician. The turnaround. Here's what I want you to take from this. Bloating isn't a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're doing health wrong. It's your body sending you a very specific signal from a very specific station on that assembly line. And once you know where to look, you stop guessing and start actually fixing it. That's the shift. From what's wrong with me to which system needs support. That's not just a health lesson. That's a life lesson. The parts of our lives that feel stuck rarely need more effort thrown at the surface. They need us to go one level deeper and find the one thing that's actually broken. If this video helped even one thing click into place for you, that's a win. And I want you to celebrate that. Understanding your body is the first step toward finally feeling at home in it again. If you found this valuable, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to put this in front of someone else who's suffering in silence with the same thing you used to. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where I'm going deep on exactly how to reset your gut and start rebuilding this system from the ground up. And drop a comment below. Where do you feel you're bloating? Tell me the location. I read every single one, and it might help me make the next video exactly what you need. Take care of your machine. It's the only one you've got. I'll see you in the next video. Disclaimer: this script is for general educational and entertainment purposes. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Encourage viewers to consult a qualified healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, medication, or significant dietary change.